In Nebraska, crop production typically requires nitrogen in the form of fertilizer, which supplements the nitrogen available in the soil. However, there are factors that make nitrogen challenging. Extension Nutrient Management and Water Quality Specialist Javed Iqbal sat down with Market Journal's Bill Dodd to discuss why having a nitrogen management plan is so important. They began by talking about some ways corn prices may play into your nitrogen application decisions.
To ensure that farmers get the maximum profit on their investment, our UNL nitrogen recommendations, they consider the price of corn and fertilizers. So this price factor in nitrogen algorithm considers or is based on the diminishing effect of increasing nitrogen rate on grain yield. As the nitrogen rate increases, the corn grain yield decreases per unit of applied nitrogen. In order to, if in case when the nitrogen fertilizer is inexpensive relative to the corn price, more nitrogen can be applied as long as it is profitable. However, at the same time, special consideration should be given to minimize the nitrogen loss.
So can you think of any instances where a farmer or producer's nitrogen efficiency can be improved?
Right. So there are many evidences when the nitrogen use efficiency can be improved. For example, nitrogen management is just like managing nitrogen is just like risk exposure. For example, fall application of nitrogen fertilizer is less efficient than spring or in-season nitrogen application because of the potential for increased nitrate or denitrification nitrogen losses. So in order to make sure that you are getting the maximum nitrogen use efficiency, you want to apply the nitrogen close to the time when the crop needs it. Some of the recommended nitrogen can be applied at pre-plant, while most of the recommended nitrogen can be applied through side dressing or fertigation during the crop growing season, which not only increases the nitrogen use efficiency, nitrogen uptake, but it also gives more net returns on the farm.
If a producer is looking to save money on fertilizer, what recommendations would you have for them?
Sure. So the value of the corn grain yield is less than the cost of the fertilizer when the nitrogen rate exceeds the optimum or most profitable nitrogen rate that we often call economic optimum nitrogen rate. So if producers can use this economic optimum nitrogen rate, he can save money on nitrogen fertilizer while maximizing net return on the farm. So we have one UNL nitrogen algorithm or nitrogen calculator available at the website, which can help to estimate this economic optimum nitrogen rate.
What else do you think producers should know when it comes to weather conditions and nitrogen applications?
Sure. So there are many considerations for improving nitrogen use efficiency. One of the considerations that I would like to share today is using nitrogen more efficiently from different resources. So whenever we think about nitrogen management for our crop, we often think the commercial fertilizers as the single source for nitrogen. However, we ignore some other sources. For example, nitrogen from the previous leguminous crop, or nitrogen from soil organic matter mineralization, irrigation, and water. It can be credited while you are calculating nitrogen for your next crop. So there are some instances where nitrogen credits from the manure are really under credited. Better crediting of nitrogen from different resources, especially from manure, can help to increase the nitrogen use efficiency.
So another reason we got you here today, we wanted to give you the opportunity to let viewers know about participation in Nebraska's On-Farm Research Network for 2020. Can you give us a little detail on the research that you're dealing with on nitrification inhibitors?
Right, sure. So snow melt during the late winter or spring precipitation events with warm conditions tend to increase the nitrate leaching potential from fall or spring applied anhydrous ammonia fertilizers. There are some nitrogen stabilizers which can help to slow down the release of nitrate nitrogen from ammonium nitrogen. So some growers may be interested to evaluate the effect of those nitrification stabilizers, for example, nitrification inhibitor. And then some growers also require to use the nitrification inhibitor by natural resource districts in order to improve the nitrogen use efficiency. To evaluate the effect of nitrification inhibitor on crop yield, on nitrogen retention and nitrogen losses, we have developed some on-farm research protocols which can help the farmers to see the effect of nitrification inhibitor on their crop yield and profit. So if any farmer is interested to test this, to test the nitrification inhibitor on their individual field, they can participate in this program. And the more details for this program are available on the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network website.